My name is Veladapillai. I am Board of Director from Federation of Global Tamil Organizations. We are presenting a statement from FGTO today. FGTO welcomes Canada's sanctions on former presidents of Sri Lanka, a step forward for international justice for Sri Lanka's genocide against Tamil. On January 10, 2023, Canada imposed sanctions on former Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Mahinda Rajapaksa was president and his brother Gotabaya Rajapaksa was the defense minister during the final onslaught of Sri Lanka's war on Tamils in 2009. The Federation of Global Tamil Organization wholeheartedly thank Global Affairs Canada and the Canadian government for taking this vital step forward toward justice for the crimes of genocide committed by several Sri Lankan governments. The Tamil diaspora has been calling for a Nuremberg-like tribunal to prosecute the leadership of government of Sri Lanka, accountable for the crimes of people, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, and also requesting Canada to help bring the Sri Lankan state to the International Court of Justice for Sri Lanka's genocide against Tamil. Tamils in Tamil Elam, Tamil Nadu, and Tamil diaspora have continuously requested the United Nations to refer Sri Lanka to the ICC, International Criminal Court, for crimes of genocide. The Tamil diaspora has been calling for the Nuremberg-like tribunal to prosecute the leadership of the government of Sri Lanka accountable for the crimes of genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Tamils have also continuously requested civilized countries worldwide to bring the Sri Lanka state to the International Court of Justice for Sri Lanka's genocide against Tamils.
Thank you, Mr. Veladapillai. My name is Lorenzo Fiorito. I am acting today just as an ad hoc spokesperson for the Federation of Global Tamil Organizations. I would like to continue by saying that Sri Lanka is a signatory to the statute of the ICJ. It recognizes that court's jurisdiction. Sri Lanka has also ratified several international treaties and conventions, violations of which may be heard at the ICJ, such as the Genocide Convention, the Apartheid Convention. Apartheid is a crime against humanity and overlaps with the crime of genocide. The Geneva Conventions, which define war crimes, the Convention Against Torture, the Convention on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, and several other instruments of law. Showing Sri Lanka's state responsibility for the internationally wrongful acts that it has committed at Tamils at the ICJ is therefore an actionable and effective route to secure justice for Tamils. Canada's recognition of the Tamil genocide and May 18th as Tamil Genocide Remembrance Day in 2022 provided hope for justice. The sanction on the former presidents of Sri Lanka is another step forward. The Federation of Global Tamil Organizations, FGTO, held the second Global Tamil Summit on January 29th, 2023 in Ottawa, Canada. During the summit, an interactive session was held among the delegates of the Tamil diaspora. Topics about various ways to secure international justice for victims of Sri Lanka's genocide were discussed. The other discussed topics were improper decolonization, a referendum for a permanent solution based on self-determination. An update on the Tamil Elam Humanitarian Assistance Fund was also presented. A consensus among the participants was that while requesting Canada to get Sri Lanka to ICJ for crimes of genocide against Tamils, the Tamil diaspora need also take additional measures to get the support from G7 countries and other nations that is required. It was also felt that more work on evidence collection for genocide and legal strategies was necessary. The consensus was also reached to urge the G7 countries to put sanctions on Sri Lankan presidents, former Sri Lankan presidents, similar to what Canada has imposed last month.
The Tamil diaspora believes that the dispute between Tamil Elam and Sri Lanka can be resolved only via democratic referendum based on the right of self-determination of Tamil Elam Tamils. The origin of the conflict stems from improper decolonization from the late 1940s to the early 1970s, when the British left the island and Ceylon reconciliated itself as a republic named Sri Lanka. The Tamil diaspora also believes the international community acted unfairly or wrongly in dismantling the Norwegian facilitated peace process in 2002, which titled the balance of power toward the genocide Sri Lankan state. The Tamil diaspora also continues to advocate and request the world's nation to bring Sri Lanka to the international judiciary, as this is the only possible form of justice for Ulam Tamils. Federation of Global Tamil Organization. Thank you.
We're ready for questions? Yes. We have a question online from Dylan Robertson. Go ahead.
Hi there, Dylan Robertson from the Canadian Press. Thanks for taking our questions. Canada sanctioned 4 individuals in Sri Lanka, and I'm wondering if any of them actually have assets in Canada, if your organizations are aware of any of them actually holding property or assets in Canada.
At present, we're not aware of any assets that are being held in Canada by these 4 individuals. However, we welcome the travel bans that these sanctions have brought. It sends a very important message from the Government of Canada to the international community that war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide will not go without consequence.
Thank you. And our allies didn't apply these sanctions. I think Canada is actually the only country, to my knowledge, that's done this. I'm just wondering if any officials had told you whether they had done an effort to have other countries replicate this, and what it tells us, if they didn't, and what it tells us if they tried and couldn't get anyone else to do so.
The Tamil community worldwide is prepared to assist Canada in securing the agreement from Canada's allies to impose similar sanctions. We are a global diaspora. We are several million strong across the world. And in each of the countries where we are present as a diaspora, we will be lobbying Canada's allies to impose similar sanctions. You can count on this.
Dylan, if you have any more questions, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to dig a bit deeper on that, though, because no one actually has done so. And I'm wondering if that risks backfiring, if we're the only country to put our heads up. I mean, when it comes to Russia, when it comes to Haiti, we tend to act with other countries. I guess I'm just wondering if you think this is the most effective way of doing it, if we're sort of going alone here and these people don't actually have assets here.
Canada's action actually follows on the sanction on General Shavendra Silva, who was also involved in war crimes towards the end of the conflict. This was imposed several years back under Secretary of State Pompeo. So Canada is now the second. This shows momentum, and we will be continuing to build that momentum as a community.
Go ahead if you have more questions, Dylan.
Sure, I'll go with one more. Thanks again. Just wondering, the call that you're putting out today to bring international justice, I'm just wondering if you've articulated that to the minister, and if so, the timeline when you've raised this, or if you're going to, and what kind of a reception you've had so far.
So as an organization, we are asking the Foreign Affairs and the Government of Canada to bring the Sri Lanka to ICJ. We know it's actually a long way to go, and it has been already 13 years. And in UN also there was some efforts to bring Sri Lanka to the personals from the war crimes to ICC as well. So we actually asking Canadian government to take steps to bring Sri Lanka to ICJ.
So no more questions, Dylan?
I'm sorry, I'll just ask for clarification, just the timeline. I understand that you're asking for this today. So if I understand correctly, you haven't actually asked the government yet. You're doing that right now, and so they haven't had a chance to respond. Or is it that you've brought this up already with the minister? If that was a week ago, a few days ago, and what kind of an answer you got?
A group of Canadian Tamil organizations already requested to our foreign minister, and we are following up on that.
Thank you very much. And just if you have the timeline, that's my last question. Just when that was raised.
When the meeting was.
This meeting was about 3 weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, like right after the January 10th sanction, and there was an interview in Toronto. Our foreign minister also mentioned that they actually going to try to get the support from G7 nations to get the sanctions on Rajapaksas. And meantime, the community also trying to get the other countries, Tamil organizations, to follow up with their governments to get the support for Canada to bring Sri Lanka to ICJ.
Thank you very much.
And this concludes the press conference. Ici met fin la conférence de presse. Merci. Thank you.
Thank you.